Hey there! I am BogdanBudaca and welcome to my channel. Today I'm trying something new. I have a new setup, so I figured I could also record myself. It's far from being top-notch, but it'll have to do. It's not total crap either, but given the current time, it's not really easy sourcing the proper gear, so I hope to have something better in the future. And speaking of the current times, I hope you're safe and staying indoor and maybe learning something new. For today, I thought we could go over a relatively simple problem, which is how to reverse a string. And we'll also switch to JavaScript, so let's dive right in. Basically, the requirement is to reverse a string. Okay? String, okay. So the first approach, which is the most straightforward and the easiest, I guess, will be to... So basically, if you have a string, it's a lot easier to first transform it into an array and then be able to work with its individual elements in that way. Okay? So the first order of business is to transform the string into an array and then reverse the array and then concatenate the array back to a string. Okay, because that's what we want our final output to be, a string. So back to that. So to see this in code, we're going to use a function, so I'm just going to go ahead and create it. Let's string reverse equals to, I'm going to use the arrow notation for the function. It receives the string argument, and here we would return the string split by no separator, reverse, okay, and then join back by no separator. So this is actually it. What we have here is, so the split method is a method on the string. The string is immutable. It's a primitive in JavaScript, but it does have a wrapper, and which provides us with methods and treats it as an object. Okay, so here we have the split method, and we're splitting by no separator because it's a string. So it's all characters that we need. So then we at this point we actually have the array. So here we can use a method that's provided by the array class. So this is reverse. And we string along the different methods with the dot notation. So here we have the reverse method. That's a helper method from the array class. It basically just reverses the elements of the string. And here we have the join method again on the array class, and basically just joins the array elements back by some separator, and here we use none, okay, because we want the string. So this is it. Let's see if it works in the console. So console.log, and here string reverse. Let's give it testing. So let's see if that works. We save first and then node reverse, and I think it worked, so that's good. And we have testing in reverse. Yep, okay, so that's all good. Gonna comment this out. So the second approach would be to, so these two are just for fun. They're quite interesting. So the second one is, well, we would first need an empty array. Create an empty array. We will also need a counter. Create a counter. You will see in a moment why. And then we will iterate through the string. You will see how. Iterate through the string from the end, starting with the end. Have a G here. And for add each element to the empty array. So the idea here is we start iterating through the string starting from the end. So the last element will be the first element in the array, and then the second to last element will be the second element in the array, and so on. So we will just make that switch. Okay, so let's see how. I'm gonna create the function again. String reverse. Okay, I'm gonna have the string argument here. Reverse string. So we have the empty array, the counter. Here basically would iterate that I, starting from I being, this is another string.length dot -1. This is another helper function. This is not actually a function. I'm not sure what this is. You can have a look. So you can always look this up on MDN. So this is like the main documentation. That's what I know. And do we have length here? Ah, it's a property. Okay. So the property, okay, the length property of the string -1. Okay. And here we're gonna need I to be greater than or less than 0, and then we will decrement I. Okay. So going back to MDN, this is where you can see, like, for example, the where is it the split method. Okay, turns the string into an array of strings, separating the string at each instance of a specified separator string. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And here we iterate through the array, and then we just add to position count, index count of the empty string. We add the string element of index I. Okay, so we start from the end, and I decreases because we decrement it, and count starts from 0, so it's the first index of the array, and it increases, it gets incremented. Okay, and it gets incremented right here actually. Okay, and we return reverse string dot join, and we get the string back. Okay, so this should be it. Let's test it out and see. Gotta save it. So yeah, it still works. That's good. Okay, great. I'm gonna comment this out just to get an idea here. So the last approach is, it might be a bit too overcomplicating things, I guess, but it's quite interesting because it allows us to use more array methods like push and pop, and also a class and an object, and that's pretty cool. So it just allows us to use cool stuff. So what we will need, we will use a stack, which is a data structure. You can imagine it as an array, so it will just be like the intermediary of what we're trying to do. It will just be like a vessel which we could use. What's particular about this is the LIFO, last in first out way of receiving and removing elements. So basically using the push and pop methods of the array, you can see them here. So the push adds to the end of the array, okay, and pop removes it from the end of the array. Okay, so here, for example, we would have, so if we have this array, if we want to add one element like 3, that would come here at the end using push, and if we want to remove it using pop, it would just be removed from here, so the last element again. Okay, and the stack data structure, you can see some of it here. You can just see it online, give it a check, and we could just make a class and the methods here. So that's actually pretty cool. So going back, create a stack class. Here we would need again create an empty array. Okay, here we would need create a stack object. Then we would need to split the string again, so we need an array one more time. So transform the string into an array, and here basically we will iterate through the elements of this array, and for each element of the array we will add it to our stack. So we will just move it from one array to the other, basically just to play with it, and then add each element to the stack, and then while the stack is not empty, we will remove and add elements to the empty array. And this is, so we will have like, this is our empty array, and you can imagine, for example, testing being the string, so we will have T, E, S, and so on. And then when we remove it and add it to the empty array, we will start from the end. Okay, so basically to the empty array we will be adding S, E, T, and that's it. That's the whole thing. So let's go ahead and implement that in code. So we'll have our class. We need the constructor method, so ctor, and you can press tab. Constructor method ready. This.stack equals to an empty array. Basically here we're just giving ourselves an empty array called stack, and this has no value. It's just a reference to the owner object, pretty much. Okay. Here we can implement the methods. We can just grab these from here, and I'm just gonna create them just to have an idea. We're only gonna use a couple, I think. Return this dot stack dot push item. So this is the push. Then we have the pop. So pop return this stack dot pop. Okie doke. Then we have peak. This just shows you the last element of the array. Not stack. And we want stack to be, oh, what's wrong? Something's wrong here. Oh, I think I removed the curly brackets from here. Okay. And here, this dot stack of index, this dot stack dot length minus 1, sorry. Okay. And here is empty, it's just a check. So it returns a boolean, this dot stack, and if this is equal to 0, you get true, otherwise it's false. So that's all good. Okay, print stack. This just uses the join method again. Dot join to concatenate everything back to a string. Okay. So this is our stack class. We're gonna make this the function once again. Okie doke. Here we have the string argument. Sorry about that. So letters, let's say, equals to string str dot split. So we get the array once again. We split up the string to an array. Then we have let stack equals new stack, so we need to use the new keyword, and we get a stack. So let reversed string equals to an empty array. This will be our empty array. Okay. So here we will iterate through letters for each And for each again is another helper method on the array class. It basically iterates for every element and provides it as it takes a callback function as an argument, and that function receives each of the elements as the argument. Okay, so going through letters, the callback function will receive the letter, so each element, let's call it letter, and we will use this to stack dot push letter. Okay, so it's just going to go through all of the letters, and for each of them it's going to push it to the stack. Okay, here we will do our while loop, while stack dot is empty is false. That's a method, so it needs the parentheses. While this is false, we will take reversed string and push to it what we will remove from stack.pop. Okay, so that's it for that, and here we will return reversed string dot join, so we would get the string back. Okay, so this is what we did, just as discussed. We then take each element starting from the end and we push it to the empty array in the beginning position, the starting position. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Let's see if it still works though. Yeah, I think that should be it. So yep, we still get the testing in reverse. Yeah, so that's it. This was just interesting. Okay, so I hope you had as much fun as I did, and if you found this interesting in any way, please give the video a like and subscribe, and I'm looking forward for your comments and feedback. And yeah, this is it. Be safe, and I'll see you around.